I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She hasn't even been challenged.
She's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes. I talked to DeSantis called me petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well,
so that is a hot mic with a whole lot embedded in it. First of all, how are presidential candidates still getting caught on hot mics? Like, it makes you think that it's not accidental. At a certain point, I think people operating the soundboards of America just like drama. They like the spice, and so they turn it up a little bit and they give us an idea of what these candidates are actually saying. But anyway, Chris Christie has dropped out of the race. And so I think the idea is that is going to help whoever the next big anti-Trump candidate is. So if it's Nikki Haley, if it's Ron DeSantis or whatever, the support for him will go to them. And that would seem to be Nikki Haley. And in his dropout speech, he even hinted that it was so that there could be a consolidation of support, or at least that he wouldn't draw support away from other anti-Trump forces. And yet he doesn't, behind the scenes, seem to have much faith in that strategy. He's talking about how both of them have wasted a bunch of money. And in particular, he doesn't seem to think that Nikki Haley really has any chance. They seem to think that both of them might drop out within a month. Jordan, what do you make of this? Like, and no, granted, his view of Nikki Haley's chances aren't the most important thing, but he really doesn't seem to have much faith. Do you think that with the Christie voters added to hers, maybe she'll have a chance?
I don't know about Iowa, maybe. New Hampshire, probably. I think set preference polling indicates that, and I think we could all just see from how they've postured, how they've run their campaigns, how they've tried to distance themselves from Trump. Christie voters or supporters, however many of them there are, probably like Haley more because they are very similar. DeSantis, I would imagine his base would just go to Trump. DeSantis has a big ground game in Iowa. We talked about this last night on the debate coverage. He has really spent a ton of money building up a ground presence in Iowa. So Christie's talking about TV and ads. Sure, that's part of it. But Buttigieg really showed if you have a strong ground game in Iowa, you can perform beyond expectations of the polling, because polling really is unreliable. And you need people not just to know your name, you need people to show up and potentially spend hours caucusing for you in Iowa. And that's a tedious process. You have to be really, really committed. And also the weather's going to be terrible. There's potentially negative 20-degree wind chills on Monday when this is happening. So you really have to like a candidate. And if DeSantis has made that big of an investment in caucusing or to getting out the caucus, we could see just really unexpected results in Iowa.
Yeah. Well, some might say that it's a cold day in hell when Donald Trump loses, but it looks like it's going to be a cold day in hell during those caucuses. So maybe there's a chance. So I wonder about that, about where their support would go. So look, we have polls indicating apparently for Christie, at least in New Hampshire, 65% of his supporters chose Haley as their second choice. So it seems, I agree, I think much of his support is gonna go to Haley. I don't see them going to Ron DeSantis. I think they would dislike him for much the same reason that they dislike Trump. In terms of where Ron DeSantis' support would go, I do think that a significant portion would go to Trump if he were to drop out. But I wonder to what extent the ones that were gonna go to Trump, haven't they done that? Like, he's lost a lot of support over the last 6 months, and I feel like it's gone back to Trump. I wonder if there might be some anti-Trump Republicans supporting DeSantis that maybe were he to drop out would go to Nikki Haley. I don't know. I would say I don't really care what happens to Ron DeSantis, but if I were to offer advice to him for his political future, drop out right now. Because first of all, it's gonna make you less of a target, and you barely have the tatters of a reputation anymore to take with you. But more importantly, you really need Donald Trump to lose. Because as long as Donald Trump is at the head of the Republican Party, he hates your guts, and he is doing a great job of making a mockery of you. So you need him to lose, which means you need someone to beat him, and it isn't gonna be you. That much is clear. I think you know when you look in a mirror that you don't have it. You know when you look in your wife's eyes, you see her shame and disappointment reflected back at you. You know that you're not gonna get it done. So drop out. Nikki Haley then has at least a snowball chance in hell of beating Donald Trump. And boom, maybe 4 years from now, people will have forgotten what a big weenie you are, and you could run and possibly have a chance. So that would be me extending an olive branch with a few insults added to it to Ron DeSantis. He should probably drop out. Anyway, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't imagine he would until maybe after Nevada, maybe New Hampshire. That'd be really close. But I mean, he goes to New Hampshire, Nevada, then South Carolina. Haley's probably going to win South Carolina. It would be interesting if she doesn't win South Carolina, just drop out. It's over. You have no chance. If you can't even pull your own state, it's over. So I think we'll see some sort of consolidation at or around South Carolina. I mean, also Vivek, he's not really polling well. He's got some supporters, but I'd be curious where they go. And I would imagine it's probably just Trump.
I think they're going to go to Trump in that they will be hand delivered to Trump by Ramaswamy. I think they are already like the envelopes are already written out for that. Like he is just there to help Donald Trump win. And so, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I wonder about Ron DeSantis. Like, does he make it to Super Tuesday? Like Trump's whole thing is he wants to wrap this thing up before any of the trials are concluded. And it's still looking like there's a good chance. But with the Chris Christie polled okay in New Hampshire a little bit, that could be enough to put Nikki Haley over. And if she suddenly wins a state, then maybe that creates renewed interest and maybe establishment Republicans flood her campaign with money. I don't know. Stay tuned. I'm hoping it's exciting and there's at least a chance that it might be. Okay, with that said, any final thoughts?
Oh, on the exciting point, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to be anything other than Trump gets the nomination, but I'm with you. I hope it's exciting.
You're probably right. But let's have fun, okay, Jordan? Can we have fun for once? For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.